Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot, and for today's Grandstand, we're going to talk about Ohio's Democrat problem and these stupid motherfuckers here that are trying to run for our state house that stand no fucking chance, like piece of shit Amy Cox, who, as far as I'm aware, is a Bloomberg paid puppet, as well as being pro Planned Parenthood and everything else like that, dude. And it seems like most of these assholes are like that. You know, that's one thing I've realized about this entire race in the past month and a half or so is, the entire current race going on in Ohio for every seat pretty much is Democrat stance is we are all about killing kids in the womb and calling it abortion, and Republican stance is we want to deal with the fucking inflation that's caused by Biden and other dipshits in office right now, dude. So what's interesting to me is that that's pretty much the only platform that either party is taking at this point, dude. You got Democrats taking the abortion platform. You got Republicans taking the inflation platform. You have no constitutional stuff at all, no pro 2A stuff, no anti 2A stuff, which when you look at a lot of the Democrat candidates, they are anti 2A. They are against constitutional carry, stand your ground, et cetera, things that I personally have helped get passed in this state, as well as a few other things on that matter. You have nobody talking about big tech monopolies and censorship and stuff like that. You have nobody talking about any of this stuff, dude. And it's kind of irritating, actually, in that case, because it's like, yeah, you guys are starting to combat stuff, but you're not really doing what needs to be done, is what it is, dude. And the one thing is, though, I will call Amy Cox out on some stuff. I was actually looking up, because I was like, okay, what district is this chick in? Because I noticed, mind you, for those interested, that was about an hour or so ago. Well, not even an hour ago, so probably about 20, 25 minutes ago or so. I was on Twitter doing some stuff. I usually go on there off and on throughout, the week or whatever and just see what's going on and stuff, basically. I was on the other day, obviously, calling out Tim Ryan's bitch ass after he got his ass trounced by J.D. Vance in that Senate debate the other day. And then, went on there a little bit ago. I noticed that the state of Ohio was trending again. I think usually, depending on how Twitter's thing is, it depends on where you're at and stuff like that. Because I'm sure if I was in Michigan or whatever the case may be, like, oh, the state of Michigan's trending. Like, here's topics people are talking about with Michigan and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I was basically on Twitter. I found a couple of different article or a couple of different things that people were talking about with Ohio, and you had a bunch of fucking idiots basically, shit talking JD Vance and the Republican Party and everything else like that. And I called a couple people out here, is what it is. So we're going to talk about the first person that I happen to call out here, which is the following here. Crap, sorry, my thing just went stupid. Gotta pull up the thing I'm trying to screen share here. But yeah, the first screen share I'm going to talk about here was this dumbass basically sucking Tim Ryan's dick, which is part of the problem with the Democrat Party in the state, which this moron named Brown-Eyed Shannon said, Peter Thiel abandoned J.D. Vance. Ohio voters should follow his lead. Tim Ryan for the win, which I called her out and I said, Tim Ryan has openly committed terrorism by calling for the murder of Americans, not to mention costing Ohioans thousands of good-paying jobs. Fuck him and every other career politician. Vote them all out. So my thing is, what's funny to me is, okay, so this Susan woman was talking about, dipshit Tim Ryan and stuff like that. And obviously, talking about Peter Thiel and JD Vance and stuff like that. But those know what Peter Thiel is a venture capitalist. Peter Thiel has been to many many Bilderberg meetings over the years. Peter Thiel is also basically the mentor of JD Vance. He was the venture capitalist that JD Vance worked for after JD went to college and stuff like that. And then eventually, here in the last year or so, Peter Thiel has been partially funding JD's campaign, is what it is. It's not that Peter Thiel has abandoned JD Vance. What happened was you have people like Blake Masters in Arizona, who's also running for the U.S. Senate and is probably going to beat Mark Kelly's ass in the fucking ground pretty soon there. And you have people realizing, specifically Peter Thiel realizing, like, okay, JD's got Ohio sewn up at this point. Like, there's no way he doesn't lose. He, trounced Tim Ryan's ass this week alone is what it was, dude. And I'm going to go over here to Arizona now and throw my money behind Blake Masters and make sure he wins that other Senate seat is what it is, dude. So, yeah, this woman's just pulling out false numbers is what it is, dude. And she's just a fucking idiot is what it is, dude, for real. just like most of these Democrat dipshits in the state of Ohio. And speaking of Democrat dipshits in the state of Ohio, we're going to talk about Amy Cox right now, which is this other tweet that came in the Ohio trending thing on Twitter, which I labeled as "fuck you, Amy." So you got dumbass Amy Cox for Ohio House said the Ohio GOP has had a supermajority for a decade, a veto-proof supermajority. Instead of fixing anything, which is a flat lie, by the way, we'll talk about that in a minute. They've made our problems worse. Again, no, they haven't. If they've made anything worse, it's the anti-gun fuck girls like her who are literally against people's constitutional rights. And I'm pretty sure that Amy Cox is actually funded by Michael Bloomberg and fucking every town and stuff like that, dude. And then she claimed, now they are trying to gaslight you into thinking that if you vote for them just one more time, they'll fix it. I call bull. To which I responded with, actually, Amy, I'm gonna call you out on your bullshit. The supermajority has done a lot for us Ohioans in the past couple of years, from constitutional carry to stand your ground, so we the people can deal with the criminals you Dems keep letting back on our streets. And that's not the only thing I've done, by the way. You know, when you look at the Ohio supermajority right now, dude, the current things going on with the Republican Party here are basically trying to deal with parental rights stuff right now, dude. They are trying to deal with the communist bullshit, the indoctrination garbage, CRT, 1619, all that crap like that's been pushed in our school systems forever now, dude. All the BLM terrorism and all these fucking activist terrorists that want to call themselves educators, nothing but indoctrinators in the school system here in the state. You know, Antifa types, etc., that want to basically go to college, become college fucking commies, and then come into our school system and teach our kids is what it is, dude. That are basically being like, I understand this is a math class, but I'm going to tell you kids about why activism is so great and why you should basically go suck BLM's dick all day. And yeah, it's a bunch of crap, dude, entirely. So now you have to have legislation be written and passed and everything like that. What's funny to me, though, is looking at the actual House races for where dumb bitch Amy Cox is running in this midterm election. It is in one of the many districts that she can't physically win, thank God. District 40, Amy Cox versus current incumbent Rodney Creech. For those who don't know what Rodney Creech is, Rodney Creech became a first-term state house representative for the state of Ohio in the 2020 election cycle. Rodney Creech is one of the many people that's been behind Stand Your Ground, constitutional carry, as well as Rodney is also behind Second Amendment sanctuary stuff right now and is a big-ass pro-2A fighter for the state of Ohio. He is also very much behind the parental rights legislation that's going through our state house right now as well, dude. So, yeah. There's a lot of good stuff there, man. There's a lot of good stuff there with this man. And yeah, I don't think Amy stands a chance versus this guy, and I'm fucking glad as shit to see that, dude, because she is a fucking clown-ass motherfucker, dude. What I think is hilarious, too, is you look at what these Democrats do, dude, and it's funny to me that Amy Cox mentions gaslighting in her whole tweet there, because it's like, yeah, bitch, and you Democrats have been gaslighting Americans for fucking the past 50 fucking years of our lives to be like, oh, the Democrat Party is somehow not the party of the fucking Klan or the party of BLM, which they are fucking both, by the way, for those that don't know that. You know, the Democrat Party literally created the KKK back in the day, dude, in the 1800s and stuff like that. And now, more recently, they carry the Black Klan with a tan, aka BLM, dude. And that's the entire point. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely. One thing I do want to mention, though, going to other races in the state of Ohio, apparently there's a bunch of people that I could actually write in as candidates for governor, which I may do this, actually. Because I just realized I don't have to vote for DeWine anymore, which is fucking great, dude. Now, granted, that being said, is it going to be a waste of vote if I write in one of these other candidates? Maybe. Depends. But, yeah, looking at the House races here. So you got DeWine, obviously, as the incumbent governor. You got dumb bitch Nan Whaley. And then you have 4 different write-ins for the actual election here. All independent, supposedly. From Tim Grady to Craig Patton, Rena Turner, and Marshall Usher. I don't know if I believe any of these people deserve to have my vote. That was what it is, dude. So, you know, again, I may go with DeWine just based on the fact that I have the ability to go to the state house and be like, hey, will you guys impeach this motherfucker if he gets back in for the shit he did in the past couple of years and stuff for real? And then you just have, you know, third in line guy take over is what it is because you're going to impeach Houston as well at that point. So, I don't know. Again, I got about 3 weeks right now. It'll be 3 weeks from Tuesday is the actual, got to go cast my ballot and stuff like that. So it all depends, dude. But I'm sure as shit never voting for Nan Whaley's fucking child murdering fucking cunt ass is what it is, dude, because fuck her and fuck her goddamn party entirely, dude. Anyway, but yeah, here's an interesting one for you, though, going down the line here. Actually, if those wondering who should actually be governor right now, it should be Ron Hood. Third guy down the line right there. Technically, though, if that piece of shit Joe Blystone hadn't been in this race for the primary, you would have actually had Jim Renacci be on the ballot instead of idiot DeWine, and you would have actually had Renacci be a decent first-term governor then. What I think is very interesting here, though, looking at lieutenant governor stuff for back in the day, obviously you had Teresa Fader lose the Democrat primary for lieutenant governor because she was John Crenley's nominee there. Going down the line, though, to districts, school board of education, Teresa Fader, nonpartisan, bullshit. Teresa Fader has been one of the biggest anti-American fucking Democrat piece of shit, anti-gunner cunts in the entire fucking state for the last 20 years, dude. The fact that Fader's even able to run for any other office in this fucking election is absolute bullshit entirely, dude. And yeah, anybody out there that's in the 2nd district, dude, vote for Sarah McGurvey because Teresa Fader is 100% fucking Democrat, dude. She hates your fucking kids. She hates your fucking constitutional rights to keep and bear arms or free speech or anything else for that matter in the Bill of Rights. And she is a big fucking anti-American, pro-abortion, fucking Bloomberg and Planned Parenthood fucking puppet, dude. Fuck Teresa Fader and fuck her entire party entirely, like I said, dude, which is the Democrat Party. One thing I did find interesting on here, actually, going to Secretary of State races, I did not realize that Tor actually made the ballot as an independent, dude, because she was trying to run as a Republican in the primaries and stuff like that. Didn't make the ballot then. But yeah, she's trying to run as independent now. For those who don't know who Torres Sphere Myers is, she is the chick who Millie Weaver did some stuff with. And she obviously goes by the name Tor and stuff like that. She was one of the people that was talking about government hacks being a lot of inside stuff, and she's also been, stuff. The big thing, the reason I really don't want to vote for Tor, though, is because, again, it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, I know what you're really up to, bitch, and you're not an independent either. You're not a Republican either, for that matter. You are some weird fucking, basically far leftist trying to act like you're some far right chick is what it is. And her whole fucking plan was to basically try to null and void a bunch of races in the state of Ohio and a few other states across this country and use like some weird network of people that she has made up is what it is, dude, that are all these QAnon dipshits, basically. And my thing is, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to vote for your dumbass bitch, so fuck you. In fact, I might just vote for John Adams if that be the case, dude, even though he technically was beaten by Frank LaRose in the fucking primaries and stuff like that. I might just throw his name in there and nothing else, then to be the case then. But yeah, I'm not going to vote for Tor at all, dude. I'm never going to vote for this Clark woman who's a Democrat. So I really don't want to vote for LaRose either because LaRose is not a good Secretary of State, dude. Just like DeWine, he's a fucking criminal, dude. They all are. And like I said, if we had a just system right now, you basically have a re-primary done as a midterm election here that would basically be a primary / general election all in one kind of thing, where it'd be like, no, you're out of office, LaRose, because you committed crimes with DeWine and Houston. So is a bunch of other people. So are all these Democrats, etc. All y'all are gone, and we just have new people come up is what it is then. So, but yeah, looking for other races, we got Dave Yost, who's definitely going to beat Jeff Crossman's ass for many reasons. The first and foremost being that Jeff Crossman is a fucking criminal. He is a current Ohio State rep who should be in jail for the past 3 years, basically, because he's been on all anti-gun piece of legislation since 2019 Dayton Massacre happened. 3 days after that, Democrat Party, including Jeff Crossman, all signed their names to a Bloomberg piece of creative legislation. Actually, 2 pieces of Bloomberg creative legislation. One was red flag laws, one was universal background checks. They all broke their oath to office at that point in time in history. They've all, at that point in time in history, committed deprivation of rights or color of law, which should be a felony in the state of Ohio and nationwide for that matter. And they should all be in prison right now for that shit, dude. So, but yeah, Yost, looking at the stuff for down the line here when they were showing the candidates and their money and stuff like that, dude, Yost is basically outspending Crossman 20-1 or something like that is what it is, dude. So, yeah, I don't see Dave Yost not taking it again because the thing is, Dave Yost being a single-term attorney general right now, dude, he has actually done a lot of good stuff for Ohio, dude. He is actually one of the few people in the state that's actually doing his job, is what it is, because he's going after big tech right now for censorship. He's going after Google right now in lawsuits. He's done a lot of other good stuff. He, helped deal with the opioid crisis stuff. He took on big pharma and shit like that, won a bunch of money in lawsuits for us and stuff like that, dude. Now, granted, is money really going to bring back people's loved ones that were killed by opioid addiction and stuff like that were killed by fucking big pharma bullshit, dude? No, it's not. But again, at least it's something. At least you're saying, hey, these people's deaths are not in vain, and here is some money, so at least their family can have, some cash to eventually pay for like burials and stuff like that. As it would be, man, if nothing else, then like recoup the burial costs and stuff like that. Then, so anyway. But basically, my plan right now, again, I'm not sure about governor's race, but most likely, the rest of the ballot, I will vote for Yost for Attorney General 100%. Secretary of State, I really don't like any of the people on this list, dude. But if I had to like default somebody, I'd probably go LaRose, even though he's a scumbag piece of shit. Just because, again, even though I think he's a scumbag piece of shit and stuff, he hasn't fucked us. He hasn't really fucked us at all. I mean, yeah, everybody did the 2020 lockdown stuff, and he probably should be in jail for that stuff and whatnot, dude, and also bribe stuff as well. But until they actually deal with that stuff correctly, then nothing's going to change is what it is, dude. The thing with Frank LaRosa is, though, he actually was part of the redistricting and the maps and stuff like that, dude, that is now, rightfully suing all the way to Supreme Court, hopefully, at this point, over the bullshit that our state Supreme Court has done right now, where it's, pieces of shit that are going to be out of office in the year, specifically that fucking dumb cunt Maureen O'Connor and the 3 Democrats who have fucked us over and, being like, oh no, these are gerrymandered maps. It's like, no, they're not, dude. That is how Ohio looks right now as a fucking congressional districts in the state, which we have been. Even Amy Cox admits it, dude. We've been that for a fucking decade right now. Ohio has been a red state since at least 2012 because we were sick and tired of Obama's bullshit is what it was, dude. And the rest of the Democrats bullshit at that point. So, anyway. And then going down the line here, Treasurer, Robert Spruce is probably going to get my vote again as the incumbent. Keith Ferber for auditor is going to be my other vote there. And then, like I said, I'm not sure about if any of these school board districts are my thing or not. There's only a few of them there. But yeah, it's interesting when you look at the money here for how much people have spent there. Richard Michael DeWine, Republican Party, total contributions, $15,081,000 something dollars. Total expenditures, $6.8 million, dude, in this race so far. Nan Whaley, Democrat Party, total contributions, $5,633,614. Total expenditures, $4,035,744. So yeah, she is actually, like, it makes sense why you're seeing her campaign commercials everywhere, dude. And same thing with DeWine stuff, because they're spending literally almost 11 million fucking dollars combined together, dude. Again, at what point do we just say both y'all get the fuck out of here, dude? You have overexceeded the amount of money that this race should have in it, which should be money capped at $1 million for governor's races. I'm just gonna hit like this right now, dude. Same thing with the U.S. Senate races, etc. there. And if you can't get it done for $1 million, dude, go fuck yourself. Seriously. And then you have other people in this race. You got F. Patrick Carone, who's an independent, who raised $142,000 some change and spent $0. You had Peterson, who raised 30-something thousand and spent almost all of it. You had Tim Grady, who raised $81 and spent $1 of it. And then you have the other 3 people, this Craig Patton, Rena Turner, and Marshall Usher, who basically do not have data available for their things. And then Lieutenant Governor has nothing available for that stuff. This is where it gets interesting, like I said, with Attorney General. Dave Yost, $2.5 million has spent, and total expenditure of $200,000 and some change. Jeff Crossman, $300,000 something dollars, $61,000 expenditures. Secretary of State Frank LaRose, $2.4 something million, $754,000 and some change for expenditures. That Chelsea Clark woman, $161,000 some change, spent almost $120,000 of it. Tor, almost $40,000 and spent $25 something of it. And then you look down to other stuff like Treasurer Robert Spruce, almost $900,000 for total contributions, almost $181,000 in total expenditures. That Scott guy is running against him. 162,000 in total contributions, 16,000 expenditures. So basically, that guy's just keeping a shitload of money in the coffers. It sounds like. Same thing with this auditor race. The guy who was running against Keith Ferber, $106,000. Only 42 grand of it's been spent so far. Ferber has raised almost $1.5 million and spent 111,000 on most of it. So, and then yeah, Teresa Fader. This is interesting though. $61,655 total contributions. Total expenditure is $86,823. Where's the other 25,000 coming from there, Teresa? The Democrat Party probably would be my guess. And then you got that Sarah woman who has less than 10 grand in total contributions and spent about 7 of it. So yeah, ridiculous, dude, entirely. Let's see here now. Yeah, that's interesting, dude. Looking at the party control for Ohio right there. Let's see, 92 to 2022, Ohio party control. 92, governor, Republican, all the way to 2006. And then you got Democrat, which I can't remember what that guy's name was offhand. I know he's one of the worst governors we ever had, though. He was like the last Democrat governor since then, by the way. And then 2011, which was fucking the year of Casey, just dumbass, all the way to DeWine there. And then you got, going back to the slide thing, Senate, Republican from 92 pretty much to the present. And then the House, you had 92, 93, 94, Democrat rule, Republican until 2008, Democrat in 2009, 2010. And then since 2011, Republican again, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, look at that right there. That shift, dude. Midterm elections 2010, Obama's fucking middle of his first term. Ohio went red and has stayed red since then, dude. As it should be. And for people to sit there and talk about Ohio being a fucking toss-up state or Ohio being, you know, oh, they're gerrymandering the fucking thing. No, they're not, dude. This is how people are voting. They're voting fucking hard red in this state right now, dude, because we're sick and tired of fucking Democrat bullshit, dude. Because when you have piece of shit fucking Democrats, whether it be Nan Whaley or Tim Ryan or Amy Cox or Teresa Fader or any of these dumb motherfuckers like that, dude. Fucking Allison Russo's another one of these assholes. Casey Weinstein's another one of these fucking assholes. When Cecil Thomas is another one of these fucking cunts, by the way. When their entire fucking platform is being unconstitutional, being all for fucking mask mandates, which, by the way, don't hold any fucking weight of law at all, dude. Being all about fucking lockdowns and shit like that, which, by the way, again, don't hold any fucking weight of law. When they're all about fucking abortion, killing kids up to the moment of birth in a lot of cases, dude, it's like, fuck all y'all, dude. Fuck all of you baby-killing pieces of shit who are also a bunch of anti-gunners on top of that. It's like, yeah, Ohio has a fucking Democrat problem, dude. And the problem is Democrats having any power in this fucking state at all right now, dude, is what it is. Honestly. And I'll say it like it is, dude. What's funny to me is how Amy Cox wants to bitch about Ohio being supermajority red and stuff like that. Guess what, dumb bitch? If the state house is able to maintain all 64 Republican seats in this midterm election and we pick up 2 more, guess what? We have an exact 2/3 majority, 66 and 99. Every Republican at that point can lockstep and kick every fucking Democrat out of our state house, dude, entirely. And the same thing with the state Senate, because we already have that on lock right now with 25-8, dude. If they wanted to go full bore, they could. They could have every Republican in lockstep vote against every single Democrat and be like, you're out of fucking office and we're putting you in jail for the fucking crimes y'all have committed in the past fucking 2.5 years now, dude. And actually, it's longer than that because it's more like about just over 3 years now since the Dayton Massacre, where they've all committed a bunch of crimes there, dude. Democrats have with fucking anti-gun bullshit. And the big thing is, I'm sorry, but like, when you literally have Michael Bloomberg funding fucking candidates, whether it be in Ohio or Michigan or anything else like that, dude, mind you, the most recent one I was reading about was him in Michigan there, putting like $3 to $4 million behind various races in Michigan. It's like, how the fuck are you allowed to legally do out-of-state funding at this point, dude, for political races? That shit right there should be an immediate fucking prison sentence, dude. I'm just gonna say it like it is. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. You have fucking scumbag billionaire pieces of shit like Michael Bloomberg, dude, being able to fund candidates in any race that is not in his fucking home state is what it is, dude. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is still New York at this point. And it's like, it'd be one thing if he was funding candidates in New York, that's whatever, dude, because again, that's in-state funding then. But when you're sitting there and you're being like, no, I'm going to go ahead and take, $5 million and throw it into some other state like Michigan or fucking, $10 million into Ohio, whatever it is, dude. It's like, no, your ass needs to be hauled off in fucking handcuffs for literally trying to flip fucking General Assemblies and for committing, really, in my opinion, it's committing massive voter fraud at that point, dude, because you're basically trying to throw a bunch of fucking money behind a candidate that otherwise wouldn't stand a fucking chance, but because they have your fucking millions of dollars behind their asses, or hundreds of thousands, whatever it is, dude, honestly, in that case, because who the fuck knows how it's actually distributed and stuff like that. It could be 10 grand here, it could be 100 grand there for all the fuck we know. But yeah, a candidate that has like 10,000 more dollars behind him or 100,000 more dollars behind him, dude, or even a governor's race that has, oh, let's go ahead and fund a fucking governor's race for the tune of like $3 to $4 million, whatever it is, dude. Again, that's the kind of shit giving these people the ability to put a bunch of campaign ads out there that could potentially swing entire election cycles, dude. And it's like, how is that not a crime? How is that not a crime to be funding somebody that otherwise wouldn't be funded, dude? When you're doing out-of-state funding like that. And I guarantee you, if that were the case and we held these motherfuckers' feet to the goddamn fire at this point, dude, you would never have any of these fucking Democrats ever win any race in any state across this country, dude, because they would never have the fucking funding. Outside of a couple of states, dude, is what it would be. You would basically have Hollywood be able to fund pieces of shit like Gavin Newsom in California, and you would have fucking assholes in New York being able to be funded by Bloomberg's money and stuff like that, dude. But outside of those ones, with the exception of New York and California, which, by the way, should have no representation in Congress at all at this point, dude, because they're so fucking scumbag pieces of shit there, dude. And they have done nothing but fuck over America for the past, several decades with 80 plus seats in our Congress and stuff like that at a federal level, dude. It's like, bro, at what point do we just say, fuck you? No, get the fuck out of here kind of thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's time to put laws on the books in every state across this country that says no out-of-state funding can come to these races, dude. And if we find out that somebody's doing some, random shady fucking dark money stuff like Bloomberg fucking, giving $10 million to Mama's Man Action, and then it's some Mama's Man Action chapter from Ohio, whatever it is, dude, funding candidates here, whatever the case be, guess what? Those people then go to jail, then is what it would be, dude, because they are directly committing fucking dark money fucking bullshit just to get their candidates elected is what it is, bro. And honestly, this is the biggest problem I've had even trying to run for office myself right now, dude. It is very fucking hard to run as a independent candidate right now when you have the ability of having no money in the coffers at all, dude. And when you, and even like, I'm not really independent, honestly, at this point. I should be backed by the Republican Party at this point, dude. I should be able to get Republican money. The problem is they make it so fucking hard to even get on the ballots, dude, or even get fucking funding for races because it's like, oh no, we're just going to default, give a bunch of money to the incumbent candidate. Fuck that, dude. I would also have been in this race in that thing. Why the hell are you giving money to my fucking opponent, assholes? No, you should be giving both of us a chance to have it. That money is what it is, dude. If nothing else, me more so because I have nothing in the coffers to be using. And that's the entire point, dude. It's a bunch of crap all the way around. And like I said, honestly, if our founding fathers knew exactly what was going on here, dude, they would say full-blown revolution at this point, dude. Like they would have, I swear to God, if they saw what was happening here in 2022 when it came to political races and the amount of money being spent on them and stuff like that, dude, they would have been like, why the fuck haven't y'all revolted already, dude? Seriously. And I think, honestly, I've talked to people about this in the last couple of hours in the back chats and stuff like that I was on panel last night of. And I think, honestly, a lot of the cases, and I'll say it straight up, dude, I think the reason we haven't seen a revolt in this country yet is because people are still too comfortable. And unfortunately, that comfortability for a lot of folks is, okay, I got food on the table. I got lights on, I got power, I have the ability to, be warm in the wintertime from heat and stuff like that. I got the ability to be cool in the summertime from AC or fans or whatever it is, dude. And unfortunately, they're never going to get up and rebel or revolt or whatever, dude, until that day that, an EMP attack or something like that happens, or a solar flare knocks out the power and stuff like that. And they're like, okay, I guess it's time to fucking go now. And that would be the time that it's not ready to go because you're not able to go anymore, dude, is what it is. And that's the problem, dude. And I think for a lot of people, that's going to be their sort of final straw at this point. And unfortunately, by then, it'll be too late, man. And that's why, honestly, like, when I talk about rebelling, when I talk about revolting, dude, I'm not talking about, like, a violent revolution or anything like that. What I'm talking about is stuff like we've seen more recently, where you have parents finally stepping the fuck up and being like, no, we're not going to have you fucking scumbag ass indoctrinators in our school systems pushing some woke agenda fucking, gay bullshit or whatever it is, dude, where you're trying to indoctrinate our kids into some trans garbage is what it is, bro. It's like, no, you're not going to sit here and indoctrinate my fucking 5-year-old or 6-year-old or 8-year-old or 10-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever the fuck it is, dude, into some gender pronoun garbage is what it is, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You're supposed to be teaching these kids the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic, etc. Instead, you're fucking got Jeb Bush. By the way, for those who don't know, Jeb Bush is literally the architect of Common Core, dude. And you have this fucking bullshit ass Common Core, which 100% was created by Bilderberg, by the way. Fucking Soros and company there, dude. Architected by Jeb Bush. His fucking idiot brother, George W. Bush, was the one that signed in the whole No Child Left Behind thing during his administration back in, was it 2001, 2, someplace in there, somewhere in there, 20-something years ago now? Where they're like, oh no, you can't have a kid held back, basically. You got to push them ahead anyway, even if they're the most retarded child in the fucking class, dude. And that's exactly what I'm teaching these kids Common Core now, where you have literally videos coming out of a fucking teacher doing, I forget what it was. It was like 312 times 14 or something like that, which should be an easy thing to figure out, dude, entirely, if you can just figure it out, on your own. Instead, he's like, no, you draw all these fucking retarded ass lines and you just count the fucking dots is what it is, bro. And that's how you get to this fucking answer. Oh, you didn't show your work, child? Now you get a fucking F because you're smarter than every other dumb motherfucker in this class is what it is. And that's the problem right now, dude. And that's the exact kind of garbage ass fucking anti-math that they're teaching these kids right now, dude. I'm going to say it like it is, dude. Common Core is anti-math. Common Core, common crap is literally the fucking exact kind of fucking indoctrination garbage that needs to be tossed the fuck out of our school system entirely right now, dude. And I'll tell you what, in the 2023 election, 2023 Ohio General Assembly, Ohio Patriot Education Network's main focus will be on finally getting Common Core booted the fuck out of the Ohio school system at this point, dude, and bringing back real mathematics again. Because enough is enough of having dumbass fucking kids be taught this garbage ass fucking way of learning when it's not even learning. It's them being shown, hey, you got some fucking low IQ dipshit in the back, 1 or 2 fucking morons that shouldn't even be in this fucking class right now because it should have been held back at grade level or 2 fucking years ago. And actually maybe be in special ed for that matter, which again, nothing wrong with special ed, dude. But again, you should not have a child that doesn't get it in a main classroom with other kids that are going to be much smarter than them and be able to learn much faster and excel much better than they can. And that's the thing, dude. You should not dumb down fucking any kind of schooling for the dumbest kid in the fucking class. No, you should take that kid, put them in their own class, or those couple kids, put them in their own class, teach them at their pace, do what needs to be done to get them through the school system and stuff like that, dude, with another teacher. Yet meanwhile, you have the actual classroom of the main, 20, 30 kids, whatever's going to be there, being taught at their fucking grade level, dude. It's fucking dumb as shit to be teaching kids like at a fucking 3rd or 4th grade level that are high school seniors, for God's sakes, in most of these cases, dude. And then you wonder, and this is something I saw here recently, why 2022 has the lowest ACT scores across the board for like the past 30 years now. And it's every year for like the last 10 years, you keep having people get dumber and dumber and dumber that are taking these tests, dude. And it's like, that's why. Because you have these fucking dumbass, retarded fucking Democrats like your Teresa Fader types taking over our school boards and stuff like that and pushing this fucking garbage ass shit in place, dude. It's like, no, fuck you, cunt. Get the fuck out of here. You've been a fucking goddamn career politician for like the last 20 years of your fucking worthless ass life. Fuck off out of all of our fucking entire political structure here in the state of Ohio and never be heard from again. You're a relevant fucking cunt. Seriously. And I'll say that to Fader. I'll say that to any of these fucking stupid bitches, dude, entirely. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You're a fucking stupid cunt. If you're a Democrat running for office or being in office right now, dude, because you have acted just like Tim Ryan's fucking cunt ass, dude. That motherfucking cunt has literally fucked us over for the past 20-something years of his life. There's actually an article I was going to pull up here real quick, if I can find it again, where it talks about that asshole's district Literally him fucking costing us over at least 25,000 jobs in the past 20 years of his shitty ass fucking career, dude. So, yeah, let's see if I can find it here real quick. Oh, there's also another one we'll talk about here, which is the Biden's America story out of Breitbart here. If I can pull this up here in a minute. It's about Thanksgiving. Yeah, let's see if I can find this really fast now. Let's see. It's not what I wanted. Oh, this is also something I want to talk about. We talked about this in Honda's chat a little bit last night, which I thought was kind of fucked up and in general. So we'll talk about that one now, which is about a candidate basically making a porn to try and get votes is what it is from people, dude. And I'm just like, bro, are you fucking for real over here? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, here we go. Here it is, Tim Ryan story. All right. So go ahead and pull this bad boy up. So we got Democrat Tim Ryan's district since he took office. 25,000 manufacturing jobs, which are good paying, by the way, all lost. Up to a 400% spike in drug deaths. Yeah, that's on you, Timmy, you fucking piece of shit. I'd like to point something out, too. If I'm not mistaken, during the whole opioid crisis, dude, Tim Ryan's fucking cunt ass literally voted against fucking dealing with big pharmaceutical companies, dude. He helped kill Ohioans in his own district, dude. Fuck this fucking guy. He should be on the hook for mass murder at this point. Seriously. And I'll say the same thing with everybody under the that's been pushing lockdown shit, dude. Anybody that's pushed lockdowns for the past 2 years, anybody that's helped mass murder the unborn in various Planned Parenthoods, whether it be fucking mayors like Nan Whaley, whether it be piece of shit fucking congressmen like Tim Ryan, they should all be tried for crimes against humanity and publicly fucking executed at this point, dude. I mean that seriously. Because they are all on the hook for mass murder, dude. Mass murder of the unborn, mass murder of the elderly, all of it, bro. Anyway, says Tim Ryan's district has fallen into economic and social disrepair since he took office in 2003. Jobs reports, population data, and death figures reveal. Ryan, running against Republican J.D. Vance for Ohio's open U.S. Senate seat, has long touted his career of supporting his district's working and middle-class communities, which is a fucking bunch of bullshit lies, by the way. Said a collection of data from the region shared by J.D. Vance's campaign paints a different picture. For example, since Ryan took office, the Mahoning Valley area of northeast Ohio has lost nearly 25,000 manufacturing jobs as a result of U.S. free trade policies, which, by the way, was a lot of Bush-created crap as well at that point in time in history, dude. When you had them literally shipping our jobs overseas to China and stuff like that, which Ryan obviously voted for in his first term there is what it was. Let's see. Then you got, since 2001, 2 years before Tim Ryan took office, area's manufacturing workforce has been cut in half. So at the same time, Ryan's district has been skyrocketing levels of drug overdose deaths, most now linked to fentanyl, as decades-long jobs outsourcing propelled Ohio into a spotlight at the face of the nation's opioid crisis. So from 2005 to 2020, drug overdose deaths in Mahoning County increased by more than 351%. In Trumbull County, drug overdose deaths have jumped nearly 335%. And in Portage County, drug-related deaths have gone up almost 400%. Fucking insane, dude. Crazy, crazy shit, bro. Said household income in Tim Ryan's district are lagging behind the rest of Ohio, and the number of Ohioans living in poverty in the area has only gotten worse. In Mahoning County from 2001 to 2020, so 19 years, the poverty rating increased from 12.7% to 15.8%. So it went up over 3% under this dickhead's fucking thing in the past 20 years, dude. Fucking ridiculous, dude. That's also a fucked up story right there. North Carolina judge sends veteran to jail for 24 hours for refusing to wear a mask in court. By the way, mandates aren't law, and this fucking judge needs to be disbarred over that shit, dude, alone. So, anyway, said in going back to Tim Ryan's story here, it said in response, population in Tim Ryan's district has declined significantly since he took office in 2003. Mahoning County from 2000 to 2020, the population declined by more than 11%, and in Trumbull County, population declined more than 10%. Yeah, it makes sense. You're killing your fucking constituency, man. Jesus. Seriously. It says globalization of the American economy over the last 2 decades has been specifically devastating to Ohio, especially devastating to Ohio. Said J.D. Vance, whose best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy is set against a backdrop of a deindustrialized area of Middletown, has run his Senate campaign centered around an economic nationalist vision to revive America's manufacturing base with tariffs and a rigorous industrial policy, higher wages with a tighter labor market via less immigration, and a fierce social agenda focused on boosting the equity of life for working and middle class American households. An Ohio Senate race takes place on November 8th, 23 days from now. And like I said, dude, I fucking can't wait. I will have no problem voting for JD Vance in that race because fuck Tim Ryan's bitch ass, dude. That dude should have already been in jail at this point, dude. And people are right. Tim Ryan is a fucking joke. He is a fucking joke. He is a fucking ass clown. He's a fucking dipshit. He is a complete fucking turd burgling ass wipe in general, dude. And yeah, Tim Ryan, like, you can't tell me that dude ain't burgling the turds, bro. There ain't no way he ain't burgling the turds, man. So that dude is 100% a turd burglar. I mean, hell, his latest campaign ads with him and his stupid ass fucking wife, dude. And him being like, oh, you don't have to like your politicians. And it's like, you're a fucking dumbass, Tim Ryan. Number one, first of all, asshole, you're not a politician. You're a fucking civil servant. A civil servant who has been voted into office by we the people, maybe, because we actually, I don't know, audited 2020. Maybe it would prove that Tim Ryan's a cheating fucking piece of shit, dude. As well as many other people. Just like going back to 2018 with Sherrod Brown, dude, who cheated his way into fucking office back in the U.S. Senate back then. The only Democrat in the 2018 midterm, Sherrod Brown, who got on the fucking back into office, yet meanwhile, every other major race from governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, AG, auditor, treasurer, 90% of the state house, etc., dude, all went red. And yet, Sherrod Brown wins the U.S. Senate seat. And nobody thinks to, I don't know, audit that fucking election? God damn, people, seriously. And people wonder why I'm fucking pissed off at the state of Ohio and our fucking leadership here, dude. Because again, they don't fucking care is what it is, dude. And when I say leadership, I mean so-called leadership is what it is, bro. Because again, they're fucking scum. So anyway, actually looking back at the thing here for the Ohio House races, there's a lot of independents actually on this thing for writing candidates, dude. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 3 different ones in District 15. Oh, actually, nice. That would be nice, dude. Actually, looking at this right now, that one that I thought was going to go Democrat by default is what it was. I think it was District 59 here, dude. Could potentially fall independent, actually. That would be interesting. Because you got that Lauren McNally, who I thought was going to be a guaranteed first-term state rep for Democrat Party there. Yeah, you now have 3 different people running against her there, one of which is a writing candidate. So you got independents Greg Brunt and Eric Unguro running, and then you got Cecil Monroe, who's running as an independent write-in. So, yeah, hopefully one of these 2 guys, anyway, could have a good chance at beating Lauren's ass then, dude. And they became a state rep then, as like an independent then. That'd be pretty sweet. And then you got a couple other ones trying to run against... That's funny, though. You got... Actually, those are both the same chick, it seems like. That's funny, though, that you got this Jennifer Donnelly girl trying to run against Loychek, dude. She doesn't fucking stand a chance, by the way. At all. Same thing with this Daniel Crawford guy trying to write in against that Thaddeus Claggett guy. Thaddeus is 100% going to win that district no matter what, dude. I believe that Thaddeus was the one that beat Mark Frazier, I want to say, and Thaddeus should have technically been in our state house for like the past 2 years, actually. Because Frazier was actually in there by... he was householder's bitch, basically. So, anyway, going back to other races here, I really hope that this Monica Robb Basdell can take that shit down, dude, and she actually wins that race. That'd be sweet. It's funny to see Jenna Powell actually have an independent try to write in against her and stuff like that again. Powell is 100% going to win that district, dude. She's just an awesome chick in general and stuff, dude. And potentially, if things go right, man, and I can actually, get down to the Ohio State House and actually have some one-on-ones with Jenna Powell, I'm going to see if I can ask her out, actually, dude, for real. I don't know if she's going to be into me or not, dude, but, it'd be nice to be able to say, hey, my future wife is an actual state rep in this state, dude. I'm just kidding, obviously. Well, not really, though. I actually wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind dating Jenna Powell and, potentially wifing her up is what it is, dude. But, yeah, she and I definitely align very much when it comes to politics and stuff like that. If nothing else, maybe, something where it's like, she shoots me down or whatever because she's like, nah, bro, I'm not into that kind of thing, whatever the case be. I'm not here for that kind of thing, whatever it is. And then it's like one of her aides is like, hey, what's going on? And like, I end up dating one of her aides or something like that. It'd be kind of funny. But anyway, never know, man. Never know. But yeah, there's a couple other ones here. And again, I'm gonna need to do some stuff here in a little bit because I feel like there is like one of these days for the wargaming thing because there's definitely some of these races that I think are definitely going to fall Democrat leaning and stuff like that to where they probably would take up a couple state house seats here and stuff like that. And there's other ones that are definitely going to be Republican strongholds and stuff like that. I just haven't been able to figure out which is which right now on some of these races. Like 91, you got Bob Peterson going to be in there by default, which he's obviously one of these guys currently as one of our state senators is, flip-flopping the assembly because he's termed out to be a state rep now. Or like that scumbag Cecil Thomas is going to be on the other side, fucking doing the same thing, basically. Neither one of them should be in the running at all at this point, dude. Both of those seats should be in other people's hands, is what it is. That are brand new people. And then, like I said, hopefully you got Sarah Fowler Arthur can beat this Kathy woman then. So, because Sarah's actually one of the architects behind the parental rights stuff, is what it is, dude. Because she herself was actually a what am I trying to say now? Yeah, with Sarah, she was actually one of the people who has been, anti-CRT for some time now, and she was also one of the homeschooled kids that became, I think she was able to get out of homeschool like a year early, like basically was smart enough after being taught by her parents and stuff like that to be able to do college like a year early or something like that. And I forget what her degree was in, and then eventually she became, a first-term House rep is what it was there in 2020. And that seat there in the 99th district, dude, and if I'm not mistaken, it's still pretty much the same area and stuff like that, dude. That was one of like 3 seats in the 2020 election cycle, dude, that flipped to Republican then because people were sick and tired of Democrats is what it was, dude. And you've had so many people basically flip, voting records and stuff like that. They were like, and I think a lot of the cases, it was actually people that were pro-Trump at one point, dude, because they were like, hey, this is fucking absolute bullshit. Like, why the fuck are we having these dickhead Democrats in office right now, dude, when they are actively fucking us over and they don't represent us at all is what it is, dude. And that's the problem entirely, when you feel misrepresented or completely non-represented at all, dude. Again, why are we paying taxes in this country? Because it's nothing more than taxation without representation, dude, is what it is. It's exactly what our founding fathers fought for, 3% fucking taxes, what it was on tea and stuff like that, dude. And I think actually I heard something more recently where it was less than that actually on like sugar or something like that. It was like a 2% tax on sugar or 1% tax on sugar or something like that, dude. And it's like, yeah. And yet, meanwhile, we as American citizens currently, dude, it's like 20 to 30% taxation across the board, depending on whose administration we're in right now. And inflation is skyrocketing like crazy while we're giving fucking, tens of millions of dollars to billions of fucking dollars to Ukraine and fucking dumbass aid that shouldn't be going over there at all, dude. While we have American citizens literally homeless on our streets in every major city across this fucking nation, dude. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, at what point do we just say, fuck all these fucking people, dude? Like, no, we're taking it back. We're kicking you the fuck out of office entirely. We have recall voting across the board to boot them out legally is what it is, dude. Or if nothing else, we just raise deprivation of rights under color of law to a fucking felony, and then we can just citizens arrest their asses under felony rules, what it is at that point, dude. Deal with them correctly then after that, Throw them in the jail cells where they belong, and that's what I mean by that, by the way. Just to be clear, because of course motherfuckers are gonna be all about shit. So anyway, but no, seriously though, bro, like, what point do these criminal ass fucking people, these civil servants that come to be politicians, finally get tried with the crimes they committed at this point, dude? And I think, unfortunately, it's not going to be until we, the people, finally rise the fuck up, is what it'll be, dude. And I feel like, honestly, sadly, it's going to be too late when that happens. We can keep voting some way or another. We can start telling all major parties to just fuck off and fill them with new parties, is what it is, dude, which is how it should be anyway. 40, 50 parties that take over Republican and Democrat both is what it is, dude. You boot the Democrats out, you boot the Republicans out, and you have, like, every other party across the fucking spectrum, dude, whether it be independent, libertarian, Green Party, Constitutional Party, Communist Party, fucking, people want to run as a goddamn Marxist. They can run as a goddamn Marxist. Seriously. At least then it would be telling the truth, dude. Even with fucking Cortez's bitch ass, we talked about her the other day, her being called out by her constituents and stuff like that. They're in that town hall and stuff, dude. And it's like, the one guy's like, you are the very thing you fought against. You are the establishment. And it's like, dude, she is a fucking communist, 100%. And yeah, she's going to fucking vote with the Democrat Party. The Democrat base is what it is, dude. And that's the problem. But at least if she ran as a fucking communist, at least she would admit the fucking communism, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, communism, socialism, whatever, dude. If she was running as an actual communist or socialist, and the same thing with the rest of those fucking dipshits in the squad and stuff like that, dude, at least they'd be telling the fucking truth in most cases, dude. Hell, if they ran out of the extremist party, at least that would make sense. Actually, that could be an interesting party now I think about it, dude. The extremist party, because it would be, extreme views one way or the other, man. You could actually, that would be one of the ones that would almost be kind of like libertarians, because it would be to have people on both sides of the fucking aisle, Democrat, Republican kind of voter bases and stuff like that, been disenfranchised and stuff like that at this point, dude. Because you would have, like, Democrat, like ex-Democrat voters and stuff like that in the extremist party being like, abortion at the moment of birth, and you'd have people on the other side being like, guns everywhere, including sensitive areas and stuff like that, dude. Or hell, Americans should have hand grenades and stuff like that kind of things, where it'd be like some extremist view or something, So, or in that same vein of things, going back to the, pro-life, anti-life thing there, you would have Democrats, be like ex-Democrat voters in the extremist party being like, yeah, basically child murder at the moment of birth and beyond even. And then you have other people being like, no, no exceptions for abortion, no exceptions for anything there. Pro-life in all instances and stuff like that, dude, when its lives are innocent and stuff, dude. And honestly, I'll tell you what, as someone who has, my stances have changed here and there over time, dude. And I'll tell you what, growing up as a kid, my mom was always talking about being pro-life and stuff like that, but never really, on us too much. She just had her things, and she was always like, rape and incest obviously should be, that sort of sensitive caveat and stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, if somebody was raped, or, some adult, raped, incest on their kid or something like that child, that little girl, whatever it is, should be allowed to have, the ability to do whatever there, man. And my feeling on the whole thing anymore is, like, unless it would be like a legit child, I feel like, like, especially if we're gonna, like, again, incest is its own thing, but again, it's also one of these things where it's, so minute. Like, this is the problem with the Democrat Party in a nutshell right now, and like anybody that sort of falls left leaning and stuff like that, dude, is they want to sit there and act like incest is this huge fucking thing when it comes to stuff. And I guarantee, if you actually look statistically over the past like 20 years or so in our country's history, dude, there has been very few instances of kids actually be like young females or whatever it is, dude, being molested on by fucking family or whatever it is, dude, and then having, their father's fucking child or their uncle's fucking child, whatever it is, dude. Now, granted, rape is a different story altogether, because I feel like those, like, truthfully, when it comes to incest and rape, like, they really shouldn't be lumped in together, because they're two separate entities entirely, dude. Like, with incest is almost kind of rape in some cases, I would say, because again, it's your own family creeping on you and stuff like that is what it would be, dude. So it probably is why it's lumped in there, is what it is, dude. But the big thing is, it is two separate things, though, because you have incest that is, family and stuff like that, where you have rape that a lot of times is strangers and shit, And when you look at the rape thing, like, yeah, it's a lot higher than incest, but again, it's still low numeration across the board. And as I've said before, my stance right now is, even if a child were to be conceived through rape, or even in that case of incest, does that mean that that innocent fucking baby does not have a right to life? And my answer is, they damn right have a right to life, dude. Now, granted, should it be that fucking, kid's mom making that choice or whatever the case be, dude, or that kid's potential mother making that choice, if she would want to, have that child or not? Sure. The thing is, again, you should be dealing with the fucking criminality that would lead to those situations to begin with. And if we as a society dealt with that shit accordingly, like that fucking piece of shit, fucking illegal alien that raped that 10-year-old girl here in Ohio, dude. If we dealt with that motherfucker accordingly and had him not in our fucking country ever, because we actually had a closed border that was protected properly, that young girl would have never been molested at the age of 9 years old, dude. To be having a child be conceived and having that trauma and having to go to Indiana, even though she technically, under Ohio law, with our new heartbeat legislation, would have been covered underneath that, dude, as one of the extreme cases and stuff, dude. But yeah, the Democrat Party never was talking about that at all, dude, because they all want to make a bunch of lies, dude. They're all gaslighting assholes is what it is, dude. They're a bunch of fucking cunts is what it ends up being. And that's what I'm saying. But yeah, my personal stance right now, dude, is even if a child were to be conceived that way, how is their life any more, or sorry, any less meaningful than somebody who is actually potentially born to two parents that we're trying to conceive? Or in that same vein of things, yeah, it's traumatic and stuff that shit happens. Who's to say that that woman, that teenage girl, whatever she would be, that would be, the victim of rape, who's to say that she couldn't give that kid up for adoption and give it to a family that would have never had a child otherwise, and that kid grows up and maybe becomes something, hell, makes a fucking cure for cancer, ends up being part of a team that creates time travel, for God's sakes. Anything across the board. Hell, hover technology for that matter would be another one, dude. Now, granted, you could also go to the extremist other side of that whole thing and be like, oh, well, they could become a serial killer or something like that. Again, we would never know that, though, because, again, their innocent life was snuffed out before it ever had a chance to get here. And that's what my biggest problem is, dude, when it comes to abortion, is you have something that originally was supposed to be, quote unquote, safe, legal, and rare. Even though it being safe, you're ending a human life entirely. But yet it was supposed to be extreme circumstances, what it is, dude. And you've had so many people for the past 5 decades use this shit as a fucking get out of jail free card, use it as birth control in many cases. Hell, you've had Antifa members and BLM people brag about basically knocking up some chick that's like a girlfriend of theirs, whatever it is, dude, some fucking little beta male dude there, and being like, oh, I'm so happy that I got to fuck this girl, basically without rubbers and shit like that for the past 5 months. Oh, now we're going to go have a fuck. Now she's going to go have an abortion today, and now we're going to start all over again. I'm going to conceive another child in her womb for another 5 months or so, and then we're going to take care of that one too. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? Seriously. And again, I believe it's the mass mental illness that has not been addressed in this country in a lot of cases, dude. For that side of the fucking aisle anyway. So, yeah, my biggest issue, though, is, like I said, just because a child is conceived not by the means that people, think are normal or whatever, dude, does not mean that that child's life should be worth any less than any others. And the fact that you were allowing these fucked up circumstances to interject and be like, no, they should totally be able to just wipe that kid's life off the fucking slate, dude. It's just fucked up, man. And I always look back now to that Kathy Bennett woman, the one who was running for, the Senate seat there in Pennsylvania here this year, where she came out a couple months ago, right before the primaries, and was like, "Hey, I am the child of rape, dude. Her mother was raped by some fucking dude. And her mom decided to choose life and chose Kathy's life, dude. Chose to have that child anyway. Was it fucked up what happened to her mother? Of course. But the fact that she did not let two wrongs make a right kind of thing and kill that kid in the womb and have that child instead, that's what I'm talking about in these whole situations, man. It's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation, of course. But again, that doesn't mean that there should be another wrong committed by snuffing out an innocent human life. And that's really where I'm falling out anymore, dude, when it comes to any of this shit. And if people want to sit here and say that's an extremist view, go on ahead, motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck anymore, honestly, dude. I am all for protecting innocent human life. I am also very much for dealing with the fucking scumbags who have forfeited their lives by committing rapes, by committing murders, by committing atrocities, and those fucking people who actually are adults or, teenagers, or whatever the case be, who know better and have let their moral compass go the opposite way to commit an atrocity. I am 100% on board with them getting the fucking death penalty, dude. So yeah, I'm very much pro-life for the innocent and pro-death penalty for the extreme guilty in this country, dude. And if people want to talk about those being extremist, viewpoints and stuff like that, whatever. But that's how I felt about that forever, dude. Even when I was running for office, honestly, it's ridiculous to sit here and be like, "Oh, we're gonna fucking have this be a thing now," whatever the case be. It's like, no, all you're doing is having another innocent life lost that could have otherwise been born and been a perfectly healthy child and become something in their teenage years, in their adulthood, etc., and made a difference to this nation, versus now you're killing these kids off in record fucking numbers. And what are you doing at the meantime? You're importing a fucking standing army, mostly of male foreign nationals, dude. That was another thing we saw here in another video last night on Honda's channel, was you had a whole bunch of fucking foreign nationals from, I think it was either Cuba or Puerto Rico, I forget which country. But yeah, it was like several thousand all basically walking towards one of our borders, dude. And almost every single person there was a guy. And that's what I've been saying forever, dude. You cannot sit here and honestly tell me that this actual fucking invasion that should have been declared a declaration of war over a decade ago at this point is not by design, number one. And secondly, is not the fucking Democrat Party and the rhino fucking cunts that uni party with them at this point, dude. Is not them literally bringing in a foreign standing army to fight against the American people at some point in the future. Because that's the real truth, man. It's not, I don't believe truthfully, if we ever did go to civil war or revolution in this country, I don't believe it's going to be the American soldiers that are going to fucking actually open fire on us, dude. It would 100% be the standing army of foreign nationals that they give guns to. And that's the thing that scares the shit out of me now, dude. That's one of the X factors now that is the top of my list right now for the biggest and worst possibilities of this country right now, dude. So, I don't know, man. It's not good. It's not good, man. And like I said, honestly, again, you want to talk about extremist viewpoints, it's time to start mass deportation in this nation, dude, for real. Enough is enough of letting these fucking illegals stay in our country anymore, dude. Mass deport them all to their nation of origins. Tell them to fuck off. Close the border. And I would even go as far as to say all legal immigration, which makes up over 1 million people a year, dude. Cut every immigration, illegal and legal both, off for at least the next 15 years. America becomes an isolationist country for the next decade and a half, at least, maybe longer even than that. But we do at least a 15-year experiment. No immigration whatsoever. Anybody caught trying to break into the U.S. illegally, apprehended, slapped with the worst possible penalty, There is. Minimum deported back to their country if they try to come back again. Do what needs to be done after that is what it is. I'm not going to go into detail on that one. That being said, during that time, you incentivize American citizens to have more children. You make actual vouchers and stuff like that to make it so that people will have more kids. You start having American job wages go way the fuck up because of the lack of illegal immigration, because of the fact that legal immigration is not a thing anymore. There's no more unskilled labor or low skilled labor workers coming in mass fucking numbers, dude, and you actually have wages finally start to rise. Meanwhile, you incentivize Americans to have children at that point, and that is going to lead us to a path in about a decade and a half, or maybe even longer, maybe 20, 25 years down the road, so it'll be 2.5 decades then, that then we can address this again and be like, hey, do we ever need immigration into this country over again? The answer will obviously be no in that time period, because again, you would have several decades at this point where you have Americans repopulating our own society and being able to actually have more American citizens on U.S. soil again. Our birth rates will no longer be declining. They will be increasing like crazy. And if we did it correctly, you would never, ever, ever need to have immigration in this country again. And in that same vein of things, we could become a true melting pot then, because you could have everybody melt into the fucking melting pot and finally learn to speak English as the United States country's language. And you would actually have people that have had enough time to do true assimilation into this country. Because that's the problem right now, dude. When you have no shut-off switch, when you have no downtime to do actual assimilation, people are never going to assimilate. And we've talked about this time and again in this channel, dude. When you have people coming in to this country from El Salvador, Honduras, Chile, fucking various Asian countries, various African countries, and what do they do when they come to major cities in this country? Let's make little Koreatown. Let's make little Honduras. Let's make little Mexico. Let's make little fucking El Salvador. Let's make little Chinatown, whatever it is, dude. Doesn't matter, honestly. Let's make fucking little Africa, whatever the hell it is then, dude. And then you have all these people make these like little ass fucking communities and stuff like that, dude. They're nothing more than their original country of origin. And you just have the people in that area just keep speaking the fucking language, never leave that area, and then wonder, why they're like, oh, well, America's such a piece of shit, dude. They don't accept us at all. It's like, no, because you're not embracing true Americanism, because you're not willing to fucking melt, because you're anti-melting at that point, and you're just trying to be all fucking whatever, dude. And if you want to do that shit, that's fine, dude. Do it in your own fucking country then, bro. Otherwise, come here and actually fucking melt and assimilate and do proper shit to actually learn to speak our fucking language. And that's one thing that pisses me off when it even comes to the fucking Cleveland Indians, dude. Because I refuse to call those fuckers the Guardians now, dude. But yeah, like half of their fucking team, half the Cleveland baseball team at this point, dude. These dudes have been here for anywhere from 5 to 10 years from Puerto Rico and other places like that, dude. And they still refuse to speak English and have to have a fucking interpreter when they're doing post-game interviews. And it's like, come the fuck on, dudes. You've been here for like a decade. Take the damn off season. Learn to speak fucking English. It doesn't matter if your shit sounds broken and stuff like that in interviews. Who gives a fuck? At least then you actually don't need to have the interpreting guy on the payroll, and you can actually be the people that can do your own interviews with the fucking interviewer and stuff like that, dude. And that way you can have the dual language, both English and Spanish then, instead of just being like, I'm going to sit here and speak fucking Spanish to this interpreter guy. This guy's going to tell me what they're saying in fucking English, from English to Spanish, and hopefully it comes through all right. And then I'm going to say some stuff back to him, and he's going to fucking tell the reporter guy what the hell I'm talking about is what it is, dude. It's fucking dumb. It's like, no, cut out the fucking middleman. Learn the damn language of America, which should be English by default at this point. And we have a better nation overall, dude. You don't have actual culture clashes because people don't understand each other anymore. Because I think that's a lot of the problem right now, dude. You have so many people that speak so many different things here in America, and because they don't understand the actual English language here, then you got disputes over fucking, misinterpretation or lack of interpretation is what it is, dude. And it's like, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying, and you don't understand what the fuck I'm saying is what it is, dude. And I think that's the biggest problem right now with this country, or at least one of the bigger problems anyway. Where again, if we just mandated shit and it would be like basically a forced assimilation at that point, which is exactly what's happened to our fucking, forefathers in this country, is what happened to a lot of my fucking forefathers in this country, dude. All my Polish, all my Irish, all my French, etc. ancestors that came here back in the day, dude. Even some of my German ancestors and stuff like that, dude. They didn't speak a fucking lick of English when they came here. You know what happened there? They were fucking ostracized until they learned fucking English is what it was, dude. And honestly, like, should it go to that point again? Maybe. Like, I think it should, honestly, at this point, truthfully, dude, because it's like, yeah, it's either learn the shit or get the fuck out kind of thing, honestly, dude. It's like, learn our fucking language or fuck back off to your nation of origin, people. Like, seriously. It's time for forced assimilation again, for real, man. For real. It's like melt or get the fuck out kind of thing, dude. And if you're refusing to melt, then get the fuck out. Like, honestly, seriously. And that way you wouldn't have to have sanctuary cities in this country. That way you wouldn't have to have fucking crime spiking up like fucking nuts, dude. Because again, you wouldn't have the fucking criminals being in our country. Again, there are a bunch of illegal aliens in most cases, dude, that the fucking Democrat Party people keep wanting to support because, shocker, they figure out backdoor ways to make sure that these people can vote for their asses, dude. And that's what it really is at the end of the day. It's a bunch of shit entirely, dude. So, of course, why would you shut off the fucking sieve to your entire voter block? You wouldn't. That's the entire point. So, yeah, like I said, man, it's time to start fixing this country once and for all, dude. And it really does start with shit like that, honestly. I'm done with it. I'm fucking over it, dude. And, like I said, people want to say these are extremist viewpoints. It is what it is, dude. I don't give a fuck anymore. I will personally take that as a compliment, actually, at this point, dude, because again, you were saying, hey, this person has gone to the extreme of being like, no, this is what should happen, dude. It's like, yeah, because I want America to be American again, dude. Because I want America to actually be constitutional again, not have a bunch of communists and socialists coming in here and fucking raping and pillaging and plundering our fucking nation for any and all resources that it can fucking take from us. Take, and give fucking nothing in return, dude, is what it is. And that's why it pisses me the fuck off, dude. It pisses me the fuck off to see shit like that happening every day of my life, dude. To sit here and have U.S. citizens on the fucking streets, homeless, while they're pissing away billions of dollars in fucking funding to stupid ass countries like Ukraine that are not fucking America and not our fucking American territory either, for that matter, dude. Ukraine is one of the scumbaggiest fucking countries in U.S. history when it comes to, or not U.S. history, in world history, when it comes to corruption by a bunch of dickhead fucking criminals like Joe Biden and company, dude, who have been funneling money over there for like more than a decade at this point, dude, and doing backdoor criminal ass deals through fucking Ukraine is what it is, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's ridiculous. And then to have all that shit inflate our fucking country even more so, to where we can't afford fucking basic groceries anymore, to where now you're going to have fucking food theft go up and have food gangs come out of the woodwork now pretty soon, to where you're going to have to carry a gun to go grocery shopping, because once you get out of there with your cart, you're basically going to have to fucking probably pull a gun on somebody who's trying to steal your fucking groceries from you is what it is, dude. And don't get me started if that's not going to be a thing here in the next 6 months to a year, dude, because it probably will be, honestly. The crazy ass way inflation's going anymore, dude. I mean, hell, like I said earlier on, which we never got to that story. We're going to get to that story right now, actually, before we finish this off today. You now have, where's that here? Let's go ahead and screen share this real quick. One in four, Biden's America, 1 in 4 Americans to skip Thanksgiving to save money. That is fucking disgusting, dude. It's absolutely sickening entirely. It says 1 in 5 Americans are unsure if they will be able to cover the cost of Thanksgiving this year, and 1 in 4 plan to skip it entirely to save money, a recent personal capital survey found. Fucking ridiculous, dude. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And like I said, going back to the other story we want to talk about, scumbag ass candidates should be disqualified from office right now, dude, entirely. Again, we almost qualification on the book right now entirely in this country, dude. This guy's an independent for New York right now. New York congressional candidate films sex tape to gain support. If you are seriously voting for fucking Mike Itkis for Congress, fuck this guy, dude. That being said, the fact that this guy's trying to unseat Jerry Nadler, but yet the guy's platform includes sex positivity and support for legalizing sex work. Again, this is why Mike Itkis needs to be tossed out of the race entirely. So should Jerry Nadler, for that matter, because Nadler himself, his entire congressional district here should be fucking null and void at this point, dude. So, but yeah, the guy literally filmed a fucking sex tape, dude. And that guy looks like a fucking creepy piece of shit, dude. He looks like one of the old men doing stuff there. Yes, his congressional candidate Mike Itkis just announced his political race by releasing a full-blown sex tape with porn star Nicole Sage, whoever the fuck that is. I don't know. She looks young, I'll tell you that much compared to that old fucker. Fucking weird. That dude looks like a creepy old... That guy looks like a fucking pedophile, honestly, dude. He looks like a guy that was fucking found in like one of the fucking sex stings or something like that here in Ohio a few years ago. Fucking bald-ass motherfucker. Seriously. That dude seriously looks like fucking like number 3, basically, dude. So you'd have like Dr. Evil, number 2, and then this guy would be number 3 in line, basically, is what it would be, dude. It's like, send for Itkis. He is my number 3. And of course, you got creepy ass fucking pedo Biden grabs young girl's shoulders, tells her, no serious guys until you're 30. God, what a fucking child molester, dude. Fucking creepy bastard. Yeah, it says, all right now. I'm going to go back and read the rest of this, though. Yeah, it said, Itkis hopes to unseat Nadler. His platform includes sex positivity, legalized so-called sex work. Said to prove he's more than just talk, Itkis was willing to bear all, and no, not in his interview. The congressional candidate filmed and released a sex tape he made with adult film star, hopes of pumping his support and getting his name into the race. So a screenshot from what appears to be a video in question showed Itkis and the woman, who is reportedly a porn star named Nicole Sage, in a room together. Said Itkis' website described him as a liberal independent candidate who supports okay, there you go. Yep. Supports abortion rights, gun control, equity, economic opportunities for everyone, strong social safety nets, and appropriate government control over markets to assure fair trade practices. So basically what they're saying is Mike Itkis is every fucking Democrat piece of shit who can't actually run as a Democrat because Nadler won the fucking Democrat primary there. So dickhead fucking Itkis, probably a child molester is my guess, is now running as a fucking independent. Which I'm not going to sit there and say Jerry Nadler is also not a fucking child molester, because I think they probably both are, dude. So it's literally child molester Democrat versus child molester Democrat for this fucking seat. Then if that be the case, dude, is there really a choice? No, there is not. This is why entire congressional seats need to go fucking bye-bye forever is what it is, dude. Seriously. Anyway. Said, but once sex buying, brothels, and pimping are deemed legal, the demand for commercial sex grows, resulting in more sex trafficking, according to the Exodus Cry, an organization whose mission is to abolish sex trafficking and assist victims. Said, quote, this creates a more dangerous environment for those selling sex because it drives prices down and the need for riskier sex acts up. And since there aren't enough women prostituting to meet the increased demand, trafficking increases, the group said. Said, per the NBC report, Itkis, a cybersecurity specialist who is also a major in the United States Army Reserves, yeah, well, I'm not surprised by that shit, deemed the clip, which was posted on a pornographic site, a, quote, conversation piece that was a big learning experience for him. According to his website, Itkis is an unmarried man with no children who is not celibate and is an atheist. Despite his platform, violent crime across Biden's America has become a major descending issue in the upcoming midterm elections. Fucking hell, man. Like I said, the fact that this Itkis asshole dude is fucking, where's that now? Where does it say here now? Yeah. Said liberal independent candidate who supports abortion rights, so abortion on demand, gun control, anti-gun fuckboy, equal economic opportunities for everyone. So basically, race-based bullshit where every white person is last, basically, on that one is what it is, dude. Fucking affirmative action, if you will, on that one, most likely. They don't call it that anymore, obviously. I still will, though. Strong social safety net. So Big Daddy government's going to be a baby daddy. Let's go ahead and give you everything, including every fucking EBT and handout you need, motherfuckers. And appropriate government control over markets to assure fair trade practices. So Big Daddy government decides what the fucking price of everything is. Oh, Big Daddy government doesn't actually like not being a monopoly. Okay, well then fuck you. Then we're just gonna take you to the fucking cleaners, bro, and make sure that you don't exist anymore, and I'm pursing your ass. That's what this kind of fucking douchebag bullshit is, dude. Like, fuck this Mike Ickes guy, seriously, dude. If anything, I'm gonna say it like it is, dude. This entire dude's fucking sex tape should have been that Nicole Sage guy pegging this motherfucker in the ass, dude. So that would have been more justifiable, honestly, dude. If that guy really supports all the bullshit he says he supports, dude, then you be taking it in the ass, motherfucker. Seriously. But nah, for real though. That guy's just a scumbag piece of crap, dude. So, like I said, man, in a just world, Nadler, the entire congressional district seat that Nadler currently holds, will be null and void at this point, dude, and it'd be gone. And you would have one less fucking New York seat than is what it would be, dude. So, yeah, fucking ridiculous, dude. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Shit really fucking pisses me off, bro. But anyway, I think we pretty much have done all the stories we're gonna do for the day. I'm getting really tired now. It's almost 5 a.m. So I'm gonna get ready, go to bed for a few hours, do some stuff, get back up, do some work, and then probably take a nap. And then later tonight, I'll probably be on some Gay Frog chat or something, probably on his channel. So, but other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And like I said, across the board, it's not just Ohio Democrats that are a fucking problem, dude. It's all Democrats at this point. And that Mike Ickes guy is a great example of that, dude. When the guy talks about being a liberal independent, it's like, no, you're just a fucking douchebag Democrat that couldn't actually win a Democrat primary. Fuck you, Ickes. I hope you enjoyed your fucking time with some porn star, you fucking old pedophile fucking creeper piece of shit. And hopefully you will lose handily in that congressional race. And I hope, honestly, that Jerry Nadler loses to the Republican candidate in that race, because that'd be fucking awesome. If there even is a Republican candidate, who the fuck knows at this point? But yeah, like I said, dude, just fucking pathetic bullshit, dude. And, going by that Exodus Cry people there, dude. Yeah, when you literally support the thing of like what you call it there, dude, it's ridiculous. That being said, the issue I have with that Exodus Cry people though is them talking about like not being enough women that want to do sex work, or whatever, dude. So here's my problem with that entirely, dude. I guarantee you, and this is the truth, really, honestly, if you made legal brothels in this country and you had like some kind of a thing where you had like all kinds of different brothels, across the board, where you had maybe, one here is like, where it'd be kind of like Nevada, where they have all the legalized brothels up there and stuff like that, where it's like, Moonlight Bunny Ranch and stuff like that. And there's like a few other ones as well. Obviously, with the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, it's like, I think $1,000 an hour or something crazy like that, dude. Which, sorry to tell you, man, most dudes, including myself, ain't paying no bitch $1,000 an hour for some fucking sex, and we're probably gonna be done in like 5 to 10 minutes anyway. But the entire point is, though, it's a situation there where, you would have other places, and there's like more, cost friendly places. Now, granted, maybe the chicks that are in those places, being the prostitutes and stuff like that, dude, aren't going to be as good looking or up to as good a standard or whatever the case be as like your higher end brothel and stuff like that. But again, if all people want is a fucking hole, man, like, do people really care? No, they don't. The entire point is, though, is again, you would at least have the ability to have something maintain, a level of legality there and a level of people being able to actually make a living, I guess it would be, safely, compared to right now with prostitution being illegal in almost every state except Nevada there. and you have people having issues there, dude. I mean, hell, you look at Ohio, for God's sakes. We've had bust after bust after bust after bust when it comes to sex trafficking stuff, dude. Now, granted, some of the times it was actually underage, child, you know, basically them trying to catch child molesters, what it was, dude, because they were trying to creep on kids and shit. But yeah, for the most part, it was just random sex work and stuff like that, dude. And again, if you're too legal, this is where my internet libertarian side comes out at, dude. If you are two legal consenting adults in this country and you want to engage in some sex and you want to have one person pay the other person for that fucking ability, why shouldn't those people be able to do what they want to do, man? Now, granted, could it lead to trafficking of people? Could it lead to chicks being snatched up and put in human trafficking and stuff like that, dude, kind of thing, and sex work and shit? Maybe. Should we still look into the potential of legalization of stuff, dude? Yes, I believe so. And that's my thing, dude. It's like, again, even if like, that's the thing, dude. It's like, my thing on this whole thing actually honestly goes back to the whole, okay, how many fucking strip clubs exist in America, dude? Now, granted, that people can say it's a different story altogether because, it's usually not chicks engaging in sex acts. It's just them, taking their money off, taking their clothes off for money to a bunch of men. Or in the same vein of things, there's obviously dude versions of that where it's, like male strip clubs, which are few and far between, and then it's a bunch of ladies' nights and stuff like that, where they have a bunch of chicks go in there and watch these dudes strip and shit like that, dude. And my thing is, though, it's like, again, you know, there's no sex in the champagne room until you actually pay some chick under the table, and then there's a bunch of sex in the champagne room in a lot of those fucking strip clubs and stuff like that, dude. And my thing of that whole thing is, it's like, again, how would that be any different then from just having a legal brothel is what it is, dude, where it's like, hey, some dude wants to come in there and get a fucking BJ or come in there and, have some, you know, whether it be some fucking chick just giving them like a crazy hand job or a foot job, whatever it is, dude, or them having actual straight sex or whatever it is, man, or, some kinky shit or whatever it is, dude, who the fuck knows, whips, chains, whistles, yo-yos, all that good shit like that or whatever it is, dude. And, the whole point I'm trying to make is, though, it's like, why not just have that be legalized at this point? And if nothing else, state government takes a slice, maybe federal government takes a slice. And that meanwhile, then you have the other people that are working at the place could have, and this is another thing too, by the way, when it comes to legal prostitution and stuff, then, dude, you could actually have people be able to, on a regular basis, get checkups and stuff like that and not be risking, spreading AIDS or HIV or Hep C or Hep A or B or whatever it is, dude, or any of that stuff like that, dude, any kind of disease and shit. And that way you could actually have a screening process on a regular basis to be like, okay, this chick is totally clean, whatever the case be, if it's a female brothel, or if it's a bunch of dudes, in a brothel and stuff like that, if it's a bunch of dudes banging women or whatever the case be, which again is probably going to be less because again, there's only a couple of those that exist in Nevada as well, dude, and are less frequent and stuff like that. But yeah, whether it be, and who's to say it wouldn't be, a gay brothel for that matter, dude? It might not be something where it's, some chick banging some dude in that brothel and the guy's the prostitute or whatever. It could be some dude banging some other dude is what it is, man. And the entire point is, or in the same vein of things, it could be some chick banging some chick in the fucking brothels and stuff like that as well. Again, no discrimination on that one. Two consenting adults thing. The entire point I'm trying to make is, though, is that you could have these people on a regular basis get tested that are going to be the, employees of these places. And that way they could basically prove to everybody, like, okay, cool, like our chicks or our dudes or, our workers, whatever it is, their dude, are 100%, not going to give you any disease or whatever the case be. Like, you can come in here and have a clean conscience. And yeah, it might cost you a little more to spend, a half hour, an hour, whatever it is with our, you know, employees and shit like that. But the entire point is, for a fact that when you're spending this money, you're going to end up with a person that is not going to have some kind of fucked up, STD that they're going to hand out to you, is what it is, dude. And I feel like there would be a lot more people than that would be like, okay, cool, I'm on board with that kind of thing, is what it is, dude. Because at the end of the day, you know, like I said, dude, it becomes a situation of, would you rather have people risking, you know, going and doing things independently and potentially risk getting killed, you know, Long Island serial killer style guy that they never have found, by the way, yet, and has killed a bunch of prostitutes and stuff like that over the last decade or so? Or would you rather have it be something where it's like, okay, cool, they're going to be in this fucking building or whatever the case be. We know for a fact that's where they're going to be at. And yeah, these people are able to be clean and stuff like that, dude, and be able to, you know, do what needs to be done and, you know, bang a couple clients a night or whatever the case be. And it's not going to be a fucking issue. Then is what it is, man. So if nothing else, maybe it is like condoms required or something like that in these places, dude. And that's the big thing right there, right? Like that way you could actually have a situation where people understand, like, hey, I'm not going to sit here and dick around with everybody. And it's going to be a situation of, hey, this is how things go. This is how things should go. And this is how things will go. And that way you could actually have a place to where you could have security guys and stuff like that if something happens and dude, like some dude gets rough or whatever it is, dude, and so forth and so on. And it could be something that you have, you know, one small thing that employs upwards of like 100 people or something like that, dude. Because besides the chicks that are actually working there, the dudes that are actually working there, whatever it is, dude, you know, sex workers, what we're gonna call it there. You would have obviously like your madams. You would have the boss dudes or chicks or whatever they're gonna be at that point. That would be the head people and shit. Then you would have security guys. You would have potentially a bartender, maybe depending if it's going to be like a little bar inside there where people can get drinks and shit, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, you would be employing like, you know, several dozen people or more is what it is, dude. And it would actually be a revenue stream again for whether it be a state or whether it be state and a federal thing at that point, you know? And I think it's just like weed legalization across the board right now. It's like, why do you have all these states that are so anti weed legalization, dude, when you could have a shitload of fucking profit from that thing, dude? And it would be a shitload of tax money funding good things, it would be, dude. And if nothing else, you know, at the same time, you know, while you're like potentially doing the legalization of the sex trade and stuff like that, and having it be okay, you know, you have to work like basically make it a thing where it's like, okay, you have to literally work in one of these, you know, 100 places that's open or whatever it is, dude. And if you don't work here, like you don't work, is what it is, kind of thing. Then, and have it be something where it's like, yeah, we will be cracking down illegal prostitution in this state like a motherfucker. Then, since we have legal stuff over here and all these other places, would it be then? And like I said, if that be the case, then you could actually make it a situation there where you would have something where it's guaranteed that no matter what, you would have people doing what needs to be done there and being able to make it better. And if nothing else, then some of the money that you would use from that could actually go back to the school systems to, you know, then have class on the thing to the kids there and be like, hey, this is what, like, again, this is be more like, you know, freshman plus at that point. So it'd be like high school age levels and stuff like that, where it's like, okay, kids, and here's the reason why you don't want to go into the sex trade and stuff like that, and do it as an educational course, basically, of like, this is why this is a bad deal. And, you know, yeah, you can make some money here on this stuff, but is it worth it to basically give up your, you know, dignity and your, um, everything else across the board, basically, at that point, whether it be virginity or whatever it is, dude. And it's like, yeah, it's not worth it, man. Like, don't go down that road, kind of thing. It'd be a way to dissuade these kids away from that lifestyle then. And if nothing else, that whole thing, the whole, you know, prostitution issues then solve themselves within a generation or so. And that's what I'm thinking offhand, honestly. It's like, yeah, why not? And it's the same thing with legalizing drugs across the board, dude. I'm talking about all drugs for that, man. I'm talking about just weed and stuff like that, which I don't know, consider weed a drug, but that's besides the point. But yeah, like, have a fucking actual store for these people to go purchase shit from, is what it is, dude. They know exactly what they're getting is clean stuff. You know, if they're buying heroin, they know it's fucking pure heroin. It's not fucking heroin cut with fentanyl or some other bullshit, or whatever the case be. Or if they're buying cocaine, it's not cocaine cut with fentanyl. Or if they're, you know, want to buy a bunch of ecstasy pills, it's not ecstasy pills that are pure fucking fentanyl, or whatever the case be, dude. And you can have a guaranteed then that, hey, what these people are buying is a pure fucking grade of shit is what it is, dude. And then meanwhile, again, going to that same kind of things as the prostitution shit, anybody that's caught illegally dealing on the streets and stuff like that, dude, gets the fucking book thrown at them is what it is, dude. And that way, again, you solve an issue in of itself right there. Because you allow for people to make their own life choices and you allow for them to have a better life choice because, again, if nothing else in that situation, if you're selling them whatever, dude, then meanwhile you throw in some pamphlets and stuff with it that would be like, hey, would you like to, stop this lifestyle, get into a recovery program? Here's a pamphlet and it has a number and stuff on it for you to call and allow them to make that choice themselves of like, okay, I finally hit rock bottom. Have this fucking pamphlet now that I just got high and shit, and I'm looking at this fucking pamphlet, and it's like, let me call this number and stuff kind of thing, dude. And maybe then you have people who are ex junkies after that, dude, who became, sober people and stuff, who actually turned their lives around and didn't, end up going down that lifestyle of addiction and then eventually ODing and shit like that, dude. So, but yeah, for me personally, that's the way I feel about a lot of it right now. And I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't want to do this stuff because, again, it doesn't financially benefit them, is what it is, dude. It doesn't benefit them to actually end so much of this shit as a long-term goal. With the short-term goal being, hey, you can tax the fuck out of this basically, and make a whole bunch of money off of it. And then if nothing else, you send a bunch of that money back to the school systems. And instead of having these schools all the time bitching about, hey, we're going to have to basically put like a $10 million levy on the fucking ballot every year or two is what it is, dude, until it passes, or we're basically can't fund the school anymore, dude. Like, it's not going to be an issue then because, again, you have all the schools be funded then by this stuff, dude, whether it be legalized prostitution or legalized, drugs across the board, or whatever the case be. And that way, in the long run, we're actually much better as a nation because you're allowing for legality of stuff to basically make it so that you can actually have a better overall country by having people make their own choices as adults is what it is. And I think that's the problem with government entirely right now in a nutshell, dude, is you have government, especially federal government, looking at us like we're a bunch of fucking children that can be knuckled under and stuff like that, dude, instead of being like, no, you're grown ass adults that have your own fucking thoughts and opinions. You know, this is what we're running on for office, whether it be for re-election or whatever the case be. Vote for me because I'm the best candidate in this race, and here's the platform I'm running on, kind of thing. Don't be going and doing dumbass fucking attack ads and being like, this person is such an extremist, they support rape and incest and stuff like that, versus like the other fucking retard who's like, I support abortion on demand every fucking 5 seconds, basically, kind of thing, as people like Amelia Sykes are, dude. And that's the problem right now with that dumb bitch. And that's the biggest issue right now, dude. And she's also one of these ones that supports crime bills and stuff like that, dude, to basically do with Ohio's fucking, current cash bail system and stuff like that, man. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of shit entirely, dude. And like I say, with that race, I really hope Madison Jesse Otto Gilbert wipes the fucking floor with Amelia Sykes in a couple weeks here, dude, and becomes a much better congresswoman. But anyway, that being said, that's where we're at for the day. Like I said, it's after 5 a.m. I'm tired as fuck. We'll be back at some point here in the next few days, probably going over some things relating to most likely a wargaming with the races here in Ohio and stuff like that, of where we think everything's going to fall at. And, hopefully then come the 8th of November, we'll see a big ass flux in Ohio when it comes to hopefully a lot more Democrats voted out of office and a potentially 2/3 exactly Republican supermajority to where they could just kick out the rest of them is what it is, man. So anyway, till later. I'll see y'all in the next one.